Begins with my parents' backgrounds, and they're both fascinating backgrounds to me. My father was born in Brooklyn in the section called Brownsville. And Brownsville in the 1920s and 30s was a very heavily Jewish, extremely Jewish neighborhood in Brooklyn. And my father grew up in that neighborhood, very Jewish, didn't see any Gentiles until he was maybe 10 years old. But later on, he matriculated to CCNY, City College of New York, which at the time had more Nobel laureates than any university in America. He went to medical school, and at the time in the 30s, medical schools in the United States had Jewish quotas. So even though his grades at CCNY were very good, and CCNY at the time was a very prestigious institution, he could not get into medical schools in the United States. And so he graduated from medical school at the University of Western Ontario in Canada. And then he came to the United States, came back to the United States, trained in the United States, first in New York, then at Iowa, and then at Cook County, where I ultimately wound up. My mother also came from a very heavily Jewish neighborhood that's probably more familiar to most of your listeners, many in the congregation, because they may share that. And that was the GVS, or Great West Side, the west side of Chicago, which at the time in the 20s, 30s, and early 40s was perhaps the most Jewish neighborhood in America. So I came out of that tradition, and I have a lot of stories from that tradition.